Hillary Clinton's campaign chose to use a firm and told this firm to get dirt on Donald Trump. They went and found a disgraced, mind you, a disgraced foreign intelligence agent to put together a dossier of dirt on Donald Trump. He then sticks a bunch of lies in the dossier, brings it back. That dossier makes its way into the hands of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who takes it down to the FISA court. The FISA court that's supposed to be sacred, mind you. That's why it's a secretive court. It's a sacred court. Oh, it's very, very secretive. We're spying on American citizens. We have got to do this by the letter of the law. And they took this garbage information into the FISA court to spy on Trump's campaign. That is by far the biggest scandal in the history of the United States of America. And we still don't know exactly who did what yet. We're still in the middle of this big investigation. And it looks really, really bad. Really bad. Take a look at this.
So the D.C. Circuit has invited the Department of Justice to weigh in, and we will do so. We will reiterate the arguments we made in our brief below, which we believe this case should be dropped. And certainly as the prosecutors in the case, as the Department of Justice, we have the prosecutorial discretion to make that decision. And Sean, Jeff Jensen, he's the U.S. attorney who the AG appointed to review the Flynn case. 10 years a career prosecutor, spent 10 years also in the FBI. When he completed his review of the Flynn case, he told the Attorney General that based on what we now know, he does not believe that any one of our 93 U.S. attorneys in the country would have continued to prosecute this case.
Ponder what she just said there for a moment. They took down Michael Flynn. They took down a man, by any measure, whether you're on the right or the left, you look at this man's military record, by any measure, an American hero. They took him down with nothing just because they wanted to take him down. That is the exact thing that's not supposed to be able to happen in the United States of America. You know that Lady Liberty thing where she's wearing the blindfold, justice is blind, due process. None of them would have prosecuted this case, and yet Michael Flynn has his reputation destroyed, gets prosecuted for this. This is a big deal, a big deal. Trump, at least to his credit, seems to be taking it really seriously.
It is a disgrace what's happened. This is the greatest political scam, hoax in the history of our country.
Well, it is the biggest.
And people should be going to jail for this stuff. And hopefully a lot of people are going to have to pay. No other president should have to go through. And I'll tell you, General Flynn and others are heroes because what's happened to them, they weren't after General Flynn. They wanted him to lie about me, make up a story. And with few exceptions, nobody did that. There were many people. I watched K.T. McFarland the other day. I watched where she was knock, knock, FBI, you know, the FBI, okay? This was all Obama. This was all Biden. These people were corrupt. The whole thing was corrupt, and we caught them.
And that's the problem, and he's 100% right there. This is not just the United States president. This is the federal law enforcement arm. The federal law enforcement arm. With all due respect to somebody who lives in a small town, because look, I've lived most of my life in small towns. I'm not putting anyone down. This is not some small town police department getting caught up in a pay-for-play corruption scheme. This is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. If you're in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, you don't get to have an oopsie, guess we picked sides in the election moment. Someone has to burn for this. And Obama, after getting busted with all this, the arrogance on this guy, after getting busted with all this, Obama's mad Flynn's going to get out of it.
There is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who's been charged with perjury just getting off scot-free. That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that our basic understanding of rule of law is at risk.
Yeah. Does not look good for him. AG Barr, though, look, he's done a great job. I don't mean to be salty about it. Says we're not doing tit for tat.
The law enforcement and intelligence apparatus of this country were involved in advancing a false and utterly baseless Russian collusion narrative against the president. The proper investigative and prosecutive standards of the Department of Justice were abused, in my view, in order to reach a particular result. We saw two different standards of justice emerge, one that applied to President Trump and his associates, and the other that applied to everybody else. We can't allow this ever to happen again. The Durham investigation is trying to get to the bottom of what happened, and it will determine whether there were any federal laws broken, and if there were, those who broke the laws will be held to account. But this cannot be, and it will not be, a tit-for-tat exercise. We are not going to lower the standards just to achieve a result. The only way to stop this vicious cycle, the only way to break away from a dual system of justice is to make sure that we scrupulously apply the single and proper standard of justice for everybody.
I have no issue with all that. My only issue is this. Tit for tat won't be a tit for tat is fine. I want him to go by the letter of the law. I don't want to operate like them. However, what I'm worried about, he does not sound like he wants to do this, mind you, but what I'm really, really worried about when it comes to everything we're dealing with here, I'm worried about letting off the left for what they did because we want it to look nice. Because, well, we don't want to do what they did. We're better than that. No, if somebody committed a crime using the power of the government against their political opponent, that somebody has to go to federal prison. And I don't want to hear we're taking away his pension. I don't want to hear we've destroyed his reputation. That somebody has to go to federal prison. Otherwise, you don't take it seriously. Don't tell me how seriously you take it. Show me how seriously you take it. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.